الذي لا يبلغ مدحته القائلون ولا يحصي نعماؤه العادون ولا يؤدي حقه المجتهدون الذي لا يدركه بعد الهمم ولا يناله غوص الفطن الذي ليس لصفته حد محدود ولا نعت موجود ولا وقت معدود ولا أجل ممدود فطر الخلائق بقدرته ونشر الرياح برحمته والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وخاتم النبيين وأفضل الخلق أجمعين محمد بن عبد الله بن عبد المطلب وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من الأولين والآخرين. فقد قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم إن الحسين مصباح الهدى والسفينة النجاة. صلوات محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
The Holy Prophet has a famous narration, a famous hadith in which he says, indeed, Inna al-Husayn Misbah al-Huda. Indeed, Imam Hussein is the lantern of guidance. He is the Misbah. Misbah in English is lantern. In Urdu and Farsi, chiragh. Imam Hussein is that lantern of guidance from which guidance illuminates. And then Imam Rasulullah then says, وَالسَّفِينَةٌ najah. And that Hussein alayhi salam is that ark, that safina, a ship, which is the ship to rescue, to salvation, to najat. From what? Najat from all sorts of zalala and fitna, from all sorts of corruption, all sorts of disbelief. Inshallah, tonight is the first night. My 10 days of Ashra will be to analyze this hadith, to evaluate and break down this hadith into different meanings. What are the meanings that we can extract? What does Rasulullah mean when he says that Inna al-Husayn, that indeed Hussein is that lantern of guidance? And inshallah we will delve and break down Hidayah. What is guidance? What does Quran say about guidance? What does Hadith say about guidance? And why is only Hussein misbah of guidance? Not that Hussein alayhi salam is guidance. Hussein is the lantern, the chiragh of guidance. That from that chiragh, the light illuminates and reaches places of darkness. Brothers and sisters, in the Arabic language, in the Arabic grammar, when you write inna before something, it emphasizes on that particular word. For example, when it is said Inna al-Husayn, it means indeed. There is ta'qeed. In Arabic, the harf inna is harf al-ta'qeed, which means that this inna represents that Hussein only. Indeed Hussein. That there is no doubt. The Holy Prophet leaves no room for shak. He leaves no room, he leaves no space for doubting. The Prophet is saying Inna al-Husayn. And the Holy Prophet doesn't exaggerate. The Holy Prophet doesn't speak beyond the truth. He only speaks the truth, the haqq, and what is needed. He does not speak more than that is needed. He does not speak less than that is needed. Whenever the Holy Prophet of Islam sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, whenever the Holy Prophet of Islam speaks, he speaks exactly what is needed for the Muslimin, what is needed for the people. If you analyze the ahadith, if you analyze the sunnah that exists, the traditions that exist in the books of hadith, you realize that many times the Ahlul Bayt have asked us to speak to people on their level. عَلَى قَدْرِ أُقُولِهِمْ. You speak to people on the same wavelength. You speak to them on their same level. There's no point speaking to a group of people and it goes over their head, or it's too easy for them. Speak to the person you're speaking to on his level, that you bring yourself on that level. Sometimes you're speaking to a child, you have to bring yourself down to a child. Sometimes you're speaking to an elderly person, You have to try to match his level. Only and only so that you can convey that message. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa is saying, Inna al-Hussain, that indeed Hussain is the chiragh of guidance. Now, if we analyze what is guidance, what does Quran say on hidayah? Hidayah is so important, brothers and sisters, that when Fir'aun asked Musa, when Pharaoh asked Moses, Ya Musa, oh Musa, who is your Lord? Who is this Allah that you speak of? Because you know who Fir'aun was? Fir'aun used to say, Ana Rabbukum al-A'la. I am your Rabb. Ayah of Quran. Fir'aun said, I am your Lord. And that Musa, na'udhu billah, is a liar. Or he is a magician, he does magic. Or he does this or that. One day he asked Musa, he said, oh Musa, who is your Lord? Who is this Rabb? Musa replied, my Lord is the one who created everything. After he had given it its creation, its khalq, thumma hada. He then gave it guidance. قال ربنا الذي أعطى كل شيء خلقه ثم هدى. That my Lord is the one, my Rabb is the one who creates everything and then gives hidayah. Or another ayah of Quran says, وَالَّذِي قَدَّرَ فَهَدَى. That Allah gave everything its measurement, creating and measuring, and then Allah gave it hidayah. Yani fawran, after creation, after khalq, the first thing Allah blesses khalq with is hidayah, is guidance. In another place of the Holy Quran it says, لِكُلِّ قَوْمٍ هَادٍ. Allah has sent a hadi to every nation. Allah has sent an imam or a nabi or a prophet to every nation. So on the day of judgment no one can complain. No hadi didn't come to us. There was no hadi for us. There was no guider who came to guide us. There was no warner who came to warn us. Allah said, لِكُلِّ قَوْمٍ هَادٍ. For every qawm, for every tribe, for every nation and people, Allah sends a guide. Allah has sent a warner who warns them of Yawm al-Qiyamah. Now, hidayah is of two types. And inshallah I come to my main message. Hidayah is al-hidayat al-takwini and hidayat al-tashri'i. Al-hidayat al-takwini and tashri'i have one main difference. That hidayat al-tashri'i is mutlaq, is for everyone. For example, what is hidayat al-takwini? Al-hidayat al-takwini is the nature, the innate fitrah. For example, when a child is born, when a baby is born, it knows that the mother is the source of comfort. That when a baby is crying, you give the baby to the mother, automatically the baby becomes quiet and is at ease. How does the baby know this is the mother? Or how does the baby know the mother will give him milk? It is from Allah. Allah has given that hidayah. Or for example, you have a seed. You put a seed under the ground, under the soil. It is Allah who guides the seed to grow into a stem. From stem to grow into branches. From branches to grow into leaves and form a completely tree or plant. Who guides that seed? Allah guides that seed. This is a form of hidayah that Allah gives everyone. Sometimes you have this inner sixth sense, you have this innate feeling that what I'm doing is wrong. Allah is giving that insight, this inspiration. Allah gives that guidance. This is for everyone. Muslim, kuffar, munafiq, mushrik, everyone has this. Every baby knows the mother is the source of comfort. It is for everyone, mutlaq and am. But hidayah to takwini, and this is the maqsad, this is the whole aim. Hidayah to takwini is a form of hidayah which is available for everyone, but it can be rejected. Who is this hidayah to takwini? What is this hidayah to takwini? This is the rusul, anbiya, awliya. Allah sends down awliya Allah. Allah sends down anbiya. Allah sends down prophets that yes, I have given them hidayah to takwini. Now is tashri', the law. That there is guidance, the halal and the haram. Quran, the Holy Prophet, Ahlul Bayt, Imams of Ahlul Bayt. They are hidayah to takwini. That they come and they guide. This is haram. This is halal. You do this, Allah will give you reward. You do this, Allah will punish you. This is takwini. Salawat alayhi.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
However, this type of guidance is a type of guidance, though it's available for all. لِكُلِّ قَوْمٍ هَادٍ, Quran says, we have sent a hadi to every nation. But this type of hidayah is only open to the open-minded. You must accept that hidayah. If a messenger comes, if a prophet comes, if an imam comes, and he gives that guidance, it's up to you to either accept it or reject it. It's like with anything in life. Someone tells you something, if you like it, the idea of it, the dalail are strong, you accept it. If the dalail, the arguments or the proofs and evidences are weak, you reject it. This is similar. Imams of Ahlul Bayt were sent. The Holy Prophet was sent as hidayah for mankind. But this type of hidayah was only accepted by the pious mu'mineen, the believers. Whereas the kuffar and mushrikeen and munafiqeen rejected this type of hidayah. The Holy Prophet would go into the streets of Mecca, and the children of Quraysh would pelt him with stones. And they would reject this type of hidayah. In other words, it goes to show this can be rejected. And the first one to reject this hidayah, hidayah al-Takwini, was Abu Lahab. When the Holy Prophet gathered in the house of Abu Talib, the first open invitation of Islam, Yawm al-Dar, Haditha Ashira. Banu Abdul Muttalib were collected in the house of Abu Talib. Rasulullah says to Abu Talib, prepare food. Lamb was prepared. For today I will make my open invitation towards Islam and invite the Quraysh towards Tawheed, towards the oneness of God, and towards my Nabuwah. What happens? All of Banu Abdul Muttalib, it is said in some of the books, 40 men from amongst Banu Abdul Muttalib gather in the house of Abu Talib. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa feeds them food. After the feast is finished, the Holy Prophet rises to give a sermon, to give a khutbah. But Abu Lahab rises and disrupts the atmosphere. And so they go home. And so the second day they are invited for this big feast. Hidayat al-Takween. The Holy Prophet has given them hidayah, guidance. The food is served. And they eat, and they eat, and they eat all they could. At the end, the Holy Prophet says, now listen to my few words, my sermon, the khutbah that I am to deliver on Tawheed and Nabuwah. Again, Abu Lahab rises and disrupts the conversation rudely. And so they leave. But the third day, when the feast finishes, again the Holy Prophet rises. Abu Lahab again dares to rudely disrupt the Holy Prophet. But Abu Talib rises. And he tells Abu Lahab to sit. He says, no one will leave until my nephew Muhammad will speak what he has to say.
Wow.
Subhanallah, the first da'wah of Islam in the house of Abu Talib. Rasulullah gives the sermon on the Tawheed, on La ilaha illallah. And then he says, I am sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide you, to save you from shirk, so that you may enter into the circle of Islam. And then he says, anyone from among you who answers my call, who says labbaik to me, I shall make him my representative after me. The whole majma, the whole crowd is quiet. Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen, a young boy, rises saying, labbaik ya Rasulullah.
MashaAllah.
Age of 11, 12, rises saying, labbaik ana ya Rasulullah. I will be the first one to say labbaik. Holy Prophet says, sit ya Ali. Again, Imam rises when the second time the Holy Prophet said, this is the second announcement. Is there anyone, this is an open invitation from all of you, anyone amongst you to answer my call? Dead silent. Ali ibn Abi Talib saying, labbaik ya Rasulullah. I will answer your call, O Prophet. And I give testimony you are the Prophet of God. Again, the Holy Prophet gets him to sit. Final and third time, when the Holy Prophet makes this i'lan, makes this announcement, is there anyone to answer the call? No one rises apart from Ali ibn Abi Talib, and then Rasulullah says, bear witness, Ya Bani Abdul Muttalib, that this Ali, you see this young boy, is my Khalifa, my Wasi, my Wali after me, bila fasl, without any sort of separation. That this Ali ibn Abi Talib is my representative, my Janasheen. After me, the mission is passed on to him. This was the first day that the i'lan of wilayah of Ali ibn Abi Talib was done. The same day Islam was announced publicly, wilayah of Ali ibn Abi Talib was announced publicly.
Narai Haidari! MashaAllah.
So as you can see, this type of hidayah can be rejected. And Abu Lahab rejected the Quran, cursed Abu Lahab, that Allah will break your hands. Quran cursed those who rejected the guidance that came from the Messenger of Allah. Why? Because this was the words of God. Allah's Messenger speaks from Wahi. But this type of Wahi is limited only to the pious mu'mineen, those whose hearts are clean, those who have no nifaq, those who have no disbelief in their hearts will readily and openly accept such form of hidayah. But those who have nifaq, those who have disbelief, those who have filth and impurity in their hearts, this type of hidayah will bounce back from their hearts and will not penetrate. And this is the munafiq. His heart is filled with filth, impurity. That guidance goes to him, but it deflects away from him. Sallu ala Muhammad wa The Holy Prophet for this reason said that he knew that after him such a fitna is to take place, that if this fitna takes place, Imam Hussain is that shining light. Imam Hussain is that shining lantern, that chiragh, from which the noor of guidance is readily available for all those who want to accept it. Because the Holy Prophet knew from ilmul ghaib what is to happen. Allah sent down these hadis, Allah sent down these guides. But what did people do? People not only rejected them, rejecting is one thing. Not only did they kick them off the mimbar, they put those people on the mimbar who had no form of guidance in them. In other words, they took him off the mimbar, of Rasulullah, and they put enemies of Rasulullah on the mimbar. Those who were openly going against the teachings of Quran and Sunnah. And this is for this reason, in the month of Muharram, when we remember Abu Abdullah and Hussain, you find that Hussain was installed by the Holy Prophet as that guide. Rasulullah for his time, Imam Ali for his time, Imam Hassan for his time, Hussain for his time, and for all of times. That his legacy will live on. Recite salawat. And so in the time of Abu Abdullah and Hussain, when Muawiyah was to die, he was informed by Mughira bin Sha'ba, install your son Yazid in power, so that Hussain doesn't come into power. But Muawiyah had taken the peace treaty with Imam Hassan alayhi salam. And then when he saw that his days were numbered, and that he was headed towards hell, he said, why not place my son in charge? Yazid was young, who had no idea about Quran and Hadith, someone who had no discipline. He said, I will place him. He was doubtful, but they said, no, you get him ready for Khilafah, and we will bring those people to do bay'ah to him, to give him allegiance. And so, in the year 56 after Hijrah, people began to give bay'ah to Yazid. They gave him allegiance slowly. The groundwork was being done. It was being prepared in a way that as soon as his father dies, Yazid will come into power. Kufa was prepared to give allegiance to Yazid. They knew Hussain is Misbah al-Huda, but yet they were turning blind eyes to the teachings of Rasulullah. They were turning away from the message of the Holy Prophet and were ready to accept someone who Imam Hussain said he is sharibul khamr, he drinks alcohol. But they were willing to ignore that, turn a blind eye and put him on the minbar. And so, when allegiance was given, Muawiyah writes a letter to Imam Hussain ibn Ali. He writes to Hussain ibn Ali, he says to him, "O Hussain, accept my government, accept this Khilafah." In other words, accept Yazid. Do not fight us, for if you fight us, we will fight you. He says to Imam Hussain, he writes in the letter, "Do not cause fitna." And subhanAllah, Imam Hussain is causing fitna. He says to Imam Hussain, "Do not cause fitna. Make peace in the ummah." How to make peace? In my own words, by accepting Yazid and staying silent, staying quiet. Because Imam Hussain was not staying silent. He says, "I will not stay silent. I will give my head, but I will not remain silent for this drunkard to come and sit on the minbar of Khilafah." Imam Hussain replies to him. SubhanAllah, look at the reply of Imam Hussain. Imam Hussain alayhi salam replies back to him by saying, "You accuse me of fitna?
Right.
You call me someone who is causing fitna? You are the one who kills worshippers. You are the one who kills the ashab of my father Ali ibn Abi Talib. You are the one who kills people like Hujr ibn Adi. Your father is responsible for the murder of Maysam al-Tammar. These people were pious worshippers. These people were seen in the mosque. These people were seen in sujood and ruku and qiyam. These people were seen to be the pious of the communities. They never hurt anyone. They never caused any fitna. You killed them. Their blood is on their hands and you accuse me of fitna?" Imam Hussain replies, "How can you accuse me of fitna when you are the one who decapitates the bodies of the Shia of Ali ibn Abi?" Look how Imam Hussain is standing up for the Shia of Ali ibn Abi, his father Ali. Imam Hussain says, not only do you kill them, you decapitate their heads, dismember their bodies. And you see, today this still exists in the, if you like, followers of Yazid, Ali Yazid, ISIS, Daesh, that when they kill the followers of Ali ibn Abi Talib, it's not enough for them. They have to behead them. They have to dismember them. They have to cut their body parts. This comes from there. Imam Hussain says, not only have you killed them, you have mutilated their bodies. In Islam, it is haram to mutilate the body. You do not have permission to mutilate any dead body. But Imam Hussain says you mutilate the bodies of pious companions. You have killed ashab. And then he says, is not the deen of my father Ali ibn Abi Talib the same as the deen of my grandfather Rasulullah? Is not the deen of Ali the deen of Muhammad and the deen of Muhammad the deen of Ali? Is there any difference between them? So how can you expect me to give bay'ah to someone like Yazid? There is no match. I seek guidance for the people. And then Imam Hussain, do you know how he ends the letter? He says, وَالسَّلَامُ عَلَى مَنَ اتَّبَعَ الْهُدَى. Imam says, salam be on him, peace be on him who obeys huda, hidayah, guidance. Imam is giving salam to those who follow hidayah. In other words, Imam Hussain is Misbah al-Huda. Imam Hussain is that guidance. In other words, Imam Hussain is saying that salams be on those who are our Shia and the Shia of us Ahl al-Bayt. Those who follow Huda, man ittaba al-Huda. Those who follow guidance, because guidance is Ahlul Bayt. Guidance is A'imma. Guidance is Hussain, the lantern of guidance. But people rejected these. They turned a blind eye. They refused to even recognize this ahadith. Quran says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la taqaddamu bayna yaday Allah wa rasulih. O you who believe, do not be hasty. Do not go in front of the order of Allah and His Messenger. It is the order of the Messenger that Hussain is the guidance. It is the order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Ali is the Khalifa after Rasulullah. But by changing that, they went hastily against the order, against the hukm of Allah, against the order of the Holy Prophet. Do not jump in front of Rasulullah. Do not teach them, for they know better. When the Holy Prophet said, I leave behind Quran and Ahlul Bayt, he said, do not teach my Ahlul Bayt. My Ahlul Bayt know better than them, than you. Do not go in front of them. For if you go in front of them, you will perish. And if you lag behind, you will perish. They are teaching us that the ruju, when we do ruju, when we go back to Ahlul Bayt. We get our deen from Ahlul Bayt. We get our aqidah from Ahlul Bayt. We get our ahkam from Ahlul Bayt. We get our fiqh from Ahlul Bayt. Our whole deen, usul is from Ahlul Bayt. Salawat Imam says, and he reminds Muawiyah again and again. He says, you accuse me of fitna when you have done this and you have done this. And then Imam then reminds him, do you remember how you destroyed the treaty that you done with my brother Imam al-Hassan? Imam Hassan, when he did the treaty, Imam Hassan did the sulh, but he had conditions. This is the condition, that Muawiyah, you will do this. Muawiyah, you will do this. Muawiyah, you will do this. Imam says, you trampled on it. You destroyed it. What was those conditions? The first condition is, you will not abuse my father Ali ibn Abi Talib from the minbar. There will be no disrespect towards my father Ali ibn Abi Talib. But this was rejected. And this abuse continued. When we came into power, the first things he said, and this is in Kitab al-Irshad of Shaykh al-Mufid, he says, Muawiyah says, I did not come into power to make you pray or to make you fast. I came into power only and only so that I could rule over you. So I could have control over you. So I could sit on this member of Khilafah. He openly expresses his true intent. I have no need for namaz. I have no need for dua. There's no need for you to be religious. I'm only here so I can rule over you. Hungry for power. And Imam Hassan alayhi salam's treaty, the treaty that was done, the conditions were ignored. Not a single condition was fulfilled. Imam Hussain reminds him again and again. But it is with great sadness that people rejected the dhurriya, the offspring of the Holy Prophet. And they put those in charge who had animosity. Their fathers and grandfathers would fight Rasulullah in the wars. They would come face to face with the Holy Prophet in the battles. For this reason you find that when Abu Abdullah al-Hussain, to test the waters of Kufa, because Kufa was prepared to give bay'ah to Yazid. To test the waters of Kufa, Imam sends his cousin Muslim. He sends him to Kufa. He says, Muslim, go and test the people of Kufa. How are they? Are they willing to accept this hidayah? Are they willing to come on our path? Or there is no hope? He didn't go himself. He says, Ya Muslim, you go and then let me write to me. Because they are writing letters. Some of the traditions say 16,000 letters reached Imam Hussain alayhi salam in Medina. And Imam Hussain had to reply. Imam was Imam. When Imam is asked for help, for hidayah, for guidance, Imam must give that help. Imam didn't say no. Imam says to Muslim, Muslim, go ahead and write to me and I will come after you with my family to guide, to let them know. And so Muslim reaches Kufa And as he reaches Kufa, for tonight we remember Muslim, salamullah alayhi. Muslim reaches Kufa, people flock towards Muslim and they give him bay'ah. They give him allegiance. They say to Muslim, write to Hussain that Hussain should come to us. We are ready to fight with Hussain. We are sick and tired of these Khulafa of Bani Umayyah. Write to Hussain, come and let's rise. Let's bring Imam Hussain back to where he belongs. And so Muslim gives a khutbah, people give him allegiance. But there comes a time when Muslim gives the azan for the Salat al-Maghrib and he leads the Maghrib prayers, and as he is finishing, look at the iman of the people. As he finishes the namaz, he finishes, he looks to the right, he looks to the left, Muslim sees that no one is there. And that Muslim has become all alone. All those people who had given allegiance were nowhere to be seen. They were nowhere to be found. Muslim is gharib in the city of Kufa. Muslim then has nowhere to go to. He has no family in Kufa. He has no friends in Kufa. In fact, the authorities of Kufa are looking for Muslim. And so Muslim begins to roam the streets of Kufa. There is a curfew in the city. The forces of the Banu Umayyah have said that anyone who sees Muslim should be arrested and brought to Darul Imara, must be brought to the castle of Ibn Ziyad. And so Muslim begins to roam the streets, but Muslim is crying. Why? Not for himself. He is crying because he knows his Hussain is coming. Because he knows Hussain has left Medina and he is coming towards Kufa. There comes a point where Muslim sits on the floor, he sits in the street of Kufa. And then in a moment outside the house in which he is sitting, a lady appears. This lady is a mu'mina. Her name is Daw'a. Daw'a says to Muslim, "O Fulan, O Rajul, O man, who are you?" Muslim looks up with tears in his eyes. He says, "I am Muslim ibn Aqil, ana Rasul al-Hussain. I am the messenger of Aba Abdullah al-Hussain. I am from Banu Hashim. I am from the family of Ali. I am from the family of Fatima." This lady begins to cry. She says, "Oh, you are from Banu Hashim? You are the messenger, the Safir of Hussain?" She says, "Come in, come into my house, for my house is your house." Muslim spends that night in the house, but she says the whole night Muslim was in sujood. The whole night Muslim was in ibadah. But it is said that when the lady's son comes, he snitches to the authorities. He tells the authorities of Ibn Ziyad that his mother Daw'a is keeping Muslim in the house. The next day, the forces surround the house of Daw'a. As Muslim finds out that the house is surrounded, he takes out his sword and prepares to fight for jihad. But Daw'a says, "Muslim, please don't leave. Please stay inside. You are all alone. You are gharib. You are waheed. You are alone." But you know what Muslim says? Muslim says, "I cannot stand that na mahram come into your house." But I say to Muslim, "Oh Muslim, if you were there on the night of Ashura, if you had seen what Zainab had to go through, if you had seen what the ladies of Ahlul Bayt had gone through, you weren't for Daw'a. But Zainab is the daughter of Ali. If only you had seen what Ali's daughter had seen." And so Muslim is arrested and he is brought to Darul Imara. And as he is presented in front of Ibn Ziyad, he's brought in front of Ibn Ziyad and he says, "Salute me." He says, "Greet me." He says, "I will never greet you. Amiri Hussain, my Amir is Hussain. You are not my Amir." And then Ibn Ziyad becomes angry. He says, take him up to the roof of the castle and cut his head. Muslim is taken to the top of the castle, and it is said that Muslim asks for time to pray 2 rakat namaz. Muslim begins to pray the namaz, and as he finishes his namaz, he turns towards Medina. He says, Assalamu alayka ya Sayyidi, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Muslim is crying. They ask him, why do you cry, Muslim? You are a brave soldier. He says, I do not cry for myself. I do not cry for my children. If I cry for my master Hussain. If I cry for Zainab. I cry for Kulthum. And then it is said that Muslim then stands bravely and says, Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. The head of Muslim is severed and is thrown on the ground. As Muslim is martyred here, Imam Hussain is on the way to Karbala, is on the way towards Kufa. Imam Hussain is in the way. All of a sudden Imam Hussain becomes impatient, because Imam has ilm imama, he becomes impatient, and he begins to cry saying, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. And he says to Zainab, oh Zainab, bring me Hamida, the daughter of Muslim. Muslim had a daughter by the name of Hamida. He says, bring me Hamida. Hamida is brought, and Imam Hussain sits Hamida on his lap. He begins to kiss her. He begins to pat her. Do you know what he says to Hamida? He says, yo Hamida, from today I am your father. From today my daughters are your sisters. My sons are your brothers, and Zainab is your mother. Hamida says, oh Hussain, Uncle Hussain, you pat me as if I am yateen. You pat me as if I have become, is my father okay? Is Muslim okay? Where is Muslim? He says to her, Hamida, I am your father. A Muslim has gone back to Allah. But I said to Hussain, Ya Hussain, this is how you patted Hamida. But do you know what happened to Sakina and Sham Ghariba? Sakina became yatim. There was no one to pat the head of Sakina. There was no one to comfort Sakina. Sakina had to face the slaps of Shaman. Sakina had to be paraded from Kufa to Sham until she died in Sham. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un.